Didn't the young master notice? I have been wearing black socks since you were a child. I only have black socks in my wardrobe. It's all because of you." As Anne spoke, she gently pulled up the black stockings on her legs and showed them to Moen. The long stockings clung snugly to Anne's thighs, accentuating the elegant curve of her legs. It was a whisper of elegance, an understated allure. She even changed her clothing to his favorite style in order to attract Moen's attention. It seems that she wants to truly receive everything from Moen, including his love. Moen lowered his head and let out a soft sigh. He didn't expect that Anna had already understood his preferences and knew them very clearly. His special preferences have all been exposed to her. He has no secrets left to keep, he said helplessly. "I always thought it was your personal preference, but I didn't expect." "You won. I give up. I just love black silk. I'm very lovely." Moen extended his thumb to Anne and looked at her with a very firm gaze. Since Anne has discovered his secret, he can only admit it to her. The blush on his face and the nosebleed that hadn't been wiped off yet also showed that he was still very shy. This makes him look a bit funny. Seeing Moen voluntarily admit his secret, Anne found it very interesting. No matter what kind of Moen, she loves it very much. She closed her eyes, raised her hand, and covered her mouth. She couldn't help but chuckle softly. Young master finally being honest with himself? That's too cute. Moen widened his eyes, feeling a bit confused by Anne's words. He seems to have some difficulty understanding what she is saying. Well, Anne used her magic on the plate. The pink magic surrounded the plate and gently floated it to her side. Then she walked towards the entrance of the basement. At this moment, she remembered that there were still some things to say to Moen. She elegantly turned around and spoke gently to him. "I will first handle the internal affairs that have been left behind in the past few days. Let's meet tonight." Moen nodded, indicating that she could leave here first. You go to work first. I'm going to sleep for a while." The heavy iron gate was once again closed by Anne and locked by her. Accompanied by a beautiful mood and anticipation, Anne left the basement with her plate. As the footsteps outside the corridor gradually disappeared, Moen began to do what he truly wanted to do. He slowly sat up from the bed. He stirred his tongue in his mouth for a moment, as if searching for something. Then he spat out several fish bones of varying lengths from his mouth and placed them on his palm. These fish bones were picked out from the fish he had just eaten. He hid them somewhere in his mouth to avoid being discovered by Anne. He silently said in his heart, "Got the thing?" She finally laughed. The black book shows that the current time is around 3 o'clock at noon. According to the pattern of the past week, Anne will probably finish her maid work at 6 o'clock. 3 hours. That's enough. Moen picked up a relatively long fish bone and looked ahead with a confident expression. He wants to use fish bones to open the lock on the iron door and escape from here. He quickly walked up to the big iron gate and crouched down. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Although he has been training in unlocking skills for a long time in the black book space, he still feels a bit nervous because this is his first time using a fish bone to unlock in reality. Then, as if he had made up his mind, he inserted a small part of the fish bone into the lock of the iron door. He suddenly opened his eyes and activated the skill he had been practicing for a long time before, called Skill Activated, Max Level, Fish Bone, Lockpicking Technique. In an instant, his eyes turned black and emitted a black glow. The radiance of this skill quickly transported Moen into another world. A thick fog enveloped the world. After Moen opened his eyes, it was difficult to see the road ahead clearly. At this moment, a mysterious wind blew away the fog here. He lifted his head and observed the surrounding environment. However, the scene here surprised him greatly. He instinctively took a step back and nervously said, "There's 12-core lock." In the thick fog, one silver giant iron knife after another appeared in front of Moen. In front of these iron knives, he was as small as a sesame seed. They were suspended in the air and constantly swayed left and right, emitting a terrifying silver light. If someone passes by here, they might be killed by these sharp iron knives. The scene here is the world inside the lock that Moen saw after activating the skill. Perhaps due to excessive skill consumption or shock, Moen was forced to interrupt the activation of his skills and return to the real world. He closed his eyes tightly, suddenly fell backwards to the ground and hit his head. He couldn't help but curse. Damn it. The scene just now scared Moen. He lay on the ground with open arms, staring blankly at the ceiling of the room. He nervously muttered to himself, 12. There are a total of 12 lock cylinders. He didn't expect this lock to have such a complex structure. If this lock is unlocked randomly, the consequences could be unimaginable. Moen imagined the internal diagram inside the lock in his mind. He simulated the process of unlocking while slowly reasoning. According to the unlocking principle, after inserting the fishbone, all lock cylinders corresponding to the key must be pushed to the corresponding positions in order to successfully unlock. Once a position is misaligned, all the lock cylinders in front will return to their original position. The fish bones are too fragile. The rebound force of the lock cylinder is likely to directly crush it. Once unlocking fails, the key will also be scrapped. Moen looked at the other fish bones placed at his feet. The process of unlocking made him feel a little anxious. I only have 4 fish bones on my hand that match the length and hardness, but none of the above is the worst part. He looked at the iron gate in front of him and kept panting. Due to his extreme nervousness, both his face and body began to sweat. Based on the principle of unlocking, he analyzed the worst-case scenario. The most desperate point is that once the unlocking fails, when Anne comes back, she will definitely find the fishbone in the lock. In the future, this method cannot be used again. That is to say, there is only one chance to escape from here. Moen lifted his head and looked at the large iron gate that prevented his freedom. To escape from here, the unlocking process must be successful, not failed. This is not a simple matter for him. So, can he successfully escape from here?